Hey YouTube, I'm back once again. I was intending to have another, well, I am having another day out today. Today we're in Hartlepool. As you can see, it's chucking it down. My intention today was to do a little bit of exploring here, although I do come here a few times a year. I'm not over familiar with the majority of the town outside this main shopping centre that we're at here, which is Middleton Grange. There's a couple of charity shops inside there. The CEX, Poundland, and then just on the other side is cash converters or cash generators. I think it's cash converters, and they've had some nice stuff the few times I've been in there, quite cheap as well. But I also know on the other side of the shopping centre there's also a few charity shops which haven't really explored that much. I've maybe been in one or two of them a couple of times at best, maybe even once. I picked up some or a couple of pop figures. Was it last year? I think it was last year. Must have been in between lockdowns. Yeah, it was. But yeah, other than that, I've still got a couple of things to trade into CEX, but not much. Those two video games I got last week. So we've got Shadow of Mordor, the Rise Son of Rome, the Xbox One game I had sold on eBay for 25 quid, so I was really happy about that. And then the other one I've got is The Witcher Wild Hunt 3. Between the two is about £7.50 trade. So I haven't got that much. I'll probably go to CX last and see if I can find anything in any of these charity shops today. Doubtful there'll be anything in Poundland worth trading, but maybe something for me, who knows. And of course there's cash converters. That's pretty much a crapshoot. You could find anything or nothing, you just never know. So yeah, I'm going to get on with it now, and the next time you see me, hopefully I'll pick up some footage as I'm going in and out and looking in the different shops. I don't know how well that'll work out today. Never do really with these things. But I'll have before I leave here, probably, depends on the time. I've got 3 hours in the car park. But it depends on how time goes, and if I need to get away before my parking ends, or whether I can extend that. Anyway, there'll be a pickups part of this video, or possibly if it works out like it did in Harrogate and there's enough footage, maybe the pickups will be in part 2. I don't know. One thing, there is no HMV here, so I won't be able to look in HMV, sadly. So yeah, I'm gonna finish off this part now and let's see what we can find. So the first stop was supposed to be Sue Riders, which you can see there, but the store is totally empty. Looks like it's closed down. This next place is called Alice Place Hospice, which I found completely by accident. I didn't even know it existed. And I did get some footage outside, or so I thought. There's a few Blu-rays on the shelf there, but nothing that I really wanted. Yeah, I thought I'd got some footage outside. When I got home, it wasn't on my phone, so I don't quite know what happened. Maybe I forgot to press record or something, I don't know. But in here they had an awful lot of stuff. Stacks and stacks of DVDs, all priced at £1, apart from the box sets, which were all individually priced. But yeah, there was nothing there that I really wanted. I didn't spend a whole lot of time going through everything, but I did skim through it all, and I didn't really see anything that I wanted. And although I do have in my head certain titles that I know are worth looking for to trade in at CX, I don't know everything that's good, but there are titles that I found in the past that I know are good trade-ins, but I didn't find anything there either. So yeah, moving on to the next. So moving on into Shelter. This is a larger than normal charity shop, being a furniture, predominantly furniture charity shop, but they do still have some media, a whole bunch of DVDs on the shelf there. But yeah, there wasn't anything again on this side that I was particularly wanting to get. I had a look through, and like before, there was nothing I wanted. Moving round to the other side, a little better, although I didn't buy an awful lot. On the top shelf there's a few Blu-rays, a couple of copies of Marmaduke there, which I picked up one. Didn't need both of them. The others I didn't really need. And then on the bottom two shelves there, we've got a bunch of VHS tapes, 20p each. So I did end up picking up a couple of those. Then moving on, I had a quick look through the electronics, because some of these stores sometimes have interesting things. No VCRs this time. Nice surround sound system there, but yeah, I think it was about 50 quid, so I had to pass on that. But I did spot on the way in TV. Now this thing was huge. Toshiba, I believe a rear projector screen TV. 30 quid is a bargain. Unfortunately, I've got nowhere to put it. I would have loved to have had that. Next stop is the Forces Support charity shop. Yeah, it's another furniture-based charity shop. They had a few shelves of mostly DVDs, a few video games, but no Blu-rays. There wasn't really much of anything in here that caught my eye. So another store that I ended up walking out of empty-handed. But yeah, I think coming up next might be the one of the better stores, I think. Anyway, moving on. So next, cash converters. Slightly better selection in here. Obviously a bunch of video games there, but we're here mostly for the Blu-rays. A lot of common stuff, but a few things that I didn't have that I wanted. One limited edition, I don't know if that's the right word, that I picked up. Those Game of Thrones box sets down there were expensive, like 10 and 20 quid each. But yeah, I did pick up a few things and found something nice behind the counter as well. So moving on now into Barnardo's. Sometime last year I went in this shop and they had a whole bunch of pop figures, which I got two, one double pack and one single one, that I sold on eBay. Made a bit of a killing on those, so yeah, that was a pretty good deal. Lots of CDs, lots of DVDs in here. I seem to be in this shop for ages and ages, waiting for people to move around so I could get any footage. There was a whole family crowded around here when I first got in, and then shortly after they went, a guy came in and spent about 15-20 minutes just flicking through the vinyl and the CDs. So yeah, it seemed to take forever to get anything filmed in here. But it was worth it when I saw this amongst those few Blu-rays there. Ace Ventura 2-pack for 2 quid. Definitely had to have that. All the other Blu-rays there, I think I already have. The price up there showing 3 for £2, at least on the DVDs and the CDs. These were different though. These are all sealed. I'm assuming they're new. But maybe they're resealed, I'm not sure, but they were a bit more expensive. And then moving back over to the shelf, we've got a bunch more DVDs, a lot of kids ones here. I did find one DVD on here that I really wanted, but I struggled to find the two to make up the 3 for £2. I did eventually settle on a couple of others, but yeah, I'm really pleased about that Blu-ray Ace Ventura, although I'm not totally convinced on those movies. That release is, it's pretty rare actually. So this place, I actually walked past and I had to stop and take a second look because it wasn't immediately apparent, to me at least, of what it was. But it's a predominantly media-based store, mostly DVDs. Had these Blu-rays. There were some more Blu-rays in a cabinet, and as you'll see in a moment, and a whole bunch of DVDs, and then just one wall on the other side, and a few cabinets in the window that had video games. I think there's another cabinet as well behind where I'm stood now that had video game accessories, but yeah, it was mostly DVDs. But boy, was there some quality in here, and pretty much cheaper than CEX, a lot of the stuff that was on there. But as you can see on the shelf there, there's Shameless, there's 88 Films, there's Arrow. Yeah, some really good stuff. A whole bunch of 3D titles, some of which were, foreign ones that weren't available in the UK. So it was it was quite a find. I was really happy to find this place. I will be going back very soon. The guy did say that he has a pretty good turnaround of stock, so hopefully next time I'm there, there'll be some different stuff. The stuff in the cabinet here was pretty much the cheaper end of the Blu-ray range that he kept, mostly £1 and £1.50, and then DVDs on the floor there, like I say, and this whole wall is pretty much DVD box sets. As I pan across there, it just keeps going. More DVDs and more DVDs, and where I was just looking at the Blu-rays, next to those Blu-rays is even more DVDs, and on the shelf on the other side is even more DVDs. Very little room for video games. So having been outside, I came back into the shopping centre from the opposite end as normal, and I don't tend to go this way now since Granger Games closed down, and I found this on the way through, called the Extra Mile, another charity shop never heard of, but it's in the location, funnily enough, of the old Renew store. But first we came across was the kids' DVDs. There was nothing there. At the back, it was a one-way system, so brought it to the back before going back up to the front. In amongst the video games was a few Blu-rays, but no prices on any of this stuff, so I didn't know how much it was. It wasn't until I got back up to the front of the store, loads of FIFA games as usual in the charity shops. Once I got back to the front of the store, there was a big sign up in front of all these DVDs, and there was a lot of DVDs once again. 5 for £1. I did scan through these lot, but yeah, there wasn't really anything there that I wanted, but I was certainly interested in some of them Blu-rays. And last up, off into CEX. Unfortunately, once again, didn't get any footage inside, but yeah, back to the car. So that was quite eventful. I'm back at the car now. It's been a little over 4 hours, so I had to extend my parking, but actually that's all right. I found as you will hopefully seen in the footage, if it came out all right, I found a great store that I'd never seen before, an independent entertainment store, selling mostly, but not exclusively, DVDs and Blu-rays, mostly DVDs. They had a big section of Blu-rays, and then about a third, maybe less than a third of the store was video games, which usually those type of stores are the other way around. Either they've got rid of DVDs altogether, or the majority of the floor space and wall space is for games, but this wasn't the case in here, and I found some really nice stuff. So yeah, we'll have a look now at what I've grabbed. So I've got a couple of carrier bags. Not full, but there's a fair bit in there. I'm going to have to sort through what I got and from where. Yeah, back in a sec. Yeah, so I'm not going to look at these in order that I bought them, because obviously the first things that I bought are in the bottom of the bags, and the most recent things are in the top. But one of the last, I think, actually the last charity shop I went into was called the Extra Mile. It's a charity shop that I've never heard of before. It's actually in the same location that the old Renew store used to be years and years ago, before they weren't around for very long, although there is still one in Darlington, the original one that I'm aware of, at least in Darlington. But all the others closed down. But yeah, in that store, they had all their DVDs, not all, but they had the DVDs listed at 5 for £1, box sets for £2. But then at the back end of the shop was some video games and a few Blu-rays, and they happened to have 5 that I was interested in. I think that's 7 altogether. But I took them to the counter and I asked the lady, I said, are these included in the 5 for £1? And she said no. She said, but you can have them 5 for £2. So I thought, well, that's still decent. So what I got for basically, what, 40 pence each. Public Enemies, a US release of Jack Reacher, which is a Blu-ray and DVD combo set. I can actually look to see if there was a region code on this one, but it's Paramount, so I actually don't know whether they region code or not, but it doesn't say on the back there, so I'm assuming it's probably, at least for the Blu-ray, region free. I guess somebody was a Tom Cruise fan who donated these, because we got Top Gun, Mission Impossible Fallout, and Rio. Not the 3D version, but that's not a problem. And those last two have also got slipcovers. So yeah, that was a bit of a bargain, 40 pence each. Reaching down into the next lot, what have we got? Oh, this one I was very, very pleased when I walked in. So they were DVDs are 3 for £2, and then Blu-rays were individually priced. There was only one DVD that I really wanted. Scooby-Doo WWF WrestleMania Mystery. WrestleMania Mystery original movie. Yeah, I don't own this one. It's not very often these days I come across a Scooby-Doo that I don't already have. But one today. As I was looking through, I found Lead Balloon. This is a Jack D series from, I think, the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, but I think the early 2000s. I don't think I've ever seen any of this. I do remember it being advertised on, was it BBC 2 or BBC 3 maybe, back in the day, but I thought I'd give that a try. I've always enjoyed Jack D as a comedian, and then after that I was struggling, I couldn't find anything. So I eventually just picked up Eight-Legged Freaks in a snapper case. I already own this, but a red snapper case, I'm sure I can find something that'll fit into that just nicely. And then I don't know if this might be the bargain of the day, I'm not entirely sure. Ace Ventura Pet Detective and When Nature Calls, 2-movie set for £2. CEX sell this for 20. I don't know if it's out of print or not. I know at one point Arrow put this out. This doesn't look like it's the Arrow version, though. This is a Warner Brothers labelled edition. I don't know if there's a year on there, and even if there is, I won't be able to read it. In that small writing, looks like it says, actually the year I can see there is 1994, so that must be the year that the first Pet Detective came out. But I'm sure there's a year on here somewhere that states when this release was put out. Anyway, I'm a bit on the fence with these movies. It's a long time since I've seen either of them, to be fair. I never really enjoyed Ace Ventura. I never really enjoyed Jim Carrey back then. The Mask and Ace Ventura, I thought the films were just too stupid. A lot of his other stuff I have enjoyed, but I really need to revisit these. I mean, I do own them on DVD. I've got the snapper cases for both of these, actually. But for £2, when CX is selling for 20, it was a no-brainer. So next up, Cash Converters. They had a bunch of stuff. Again, I got a bunch of footage. And I got a load of a load of Blu-rays, mostly £1, although not all. This is one I've been searching for on eBay. It's a exclusive to, I'm not sure whether it was Amazon or Sainsbury's, but it's Alan Partridge Alpha Papa. This has been the 2-disc premium Partridge edition. The version I've got, actually I've got two different ones. I've got the standard Blu-ray with the slipcover, and I've got the limited edition, I think it was HMV exclusive, that came with the soundtrack. But this is the only edition that I'm aware of that comes with this extra bonus disc, which I'm assuming is in the Blu-ray, but I don't know that for sure. So it's got a load of extra bonus features on there. Yeah, so I'm chuffed on that for £1, because the cheapest I've seen it on eBay. was about £2.20, £2.30, something like that, but that was without the slipcase. To get one with a slipcase was about £5 or £6. I mean, there's new ones coming on there all the time, so I knew eventually I'd probably have grabbed one. But for £1, I had to grab that. This one was £1.99. I haven't seen this yet, straight out of Compton. I think this sells for only about £2.50, not much more than this in CEX, but I thought I'd grab it. It has got a digital code in there, but I haven't tried it yet. The case is still taped up. I just managed to unclip it open just to see if it was in there. And I've got a slip cover at home as well for this. So yeah, I'll be checking that one quite soon actually. This one I've never heard of, but Cuba Gooding Jr. and Dolph Lundgren, I had to give that a go for 50p. One in the chamber. It's probably some cheesy low budget action film, but I'm up for that. Kingdom of Heaven, the director's cut, again for £1. Had to try that one. One that I thought I owned, but it turns out I don't. Insidious Chapter 2, again only £1, with a slipcover. And then finally for the cheapies, The Happening, again that was £1. Extended cut. Extended cut, too shocking for cinemas. I've never seen this film, and that was all that I picked until I got to the till, and behind the counter, or at the back of the counter, there was a few more Blu-rays box sets. Nothing that I fancied, but there was two that I couldn't quite make out what they were. One of them was the Twilight Saga, the complete Twilight Saga, which I didn't even look at the price of that. I just said no, I'm not interested in that. And then this Deadwood, the complete series, 3 seasons for a tenner, factory sealed. I've been looking at one of these on Facebook Marketplace for a couple of weeks now at the same price as this, for £10 up in Durham. And the only reason I haven't bought it is because it's up in Durham, which means a 30 to 40 minute drive. And I think I remember checking on CEX, was it 15 or maybe £18 this sells for on CEX? I can't really remember, but I thought £10 brand new sealed, that's a decent deal. It might not be a mega bargain, but it's definitely a good deal. Then bottom of the first bag, these were in Shelter, and I got some footage of a snazzy looking, I think it's a rear projector screen TV, big screen, maybe it's 50 inch, I don't know exactly, and it was only £30, but the thing was massive. Had I had the means to get it home, and more importantly somewhere to put it, I'd have bought that thing, but I really have nowhere to put it. I mean, if I really wanted it, I could get somebody to give me a hand to take it home, because it wouldn't fit in my car, I don't think. Might do laid flat, but I don't know how delicate they are laid flat. But I've just got nowhere at home to store it, let alone set it up. So yeah, I had to let that pass by. But I got a single Blu-ray, Marmaduke triple play. Again, I haven't checked the digital code, but I imagine this is way and that said, I've over the last few years I've redeemed several iTunes digital copies that came out sort of almost 10 years and more ago, and they've still been valid, so who knows, this might well be valid. But yeah, brand new sealed as well. And then a couple of videotapes, 20p each. Status Quo, Rocking Through the Years. Yeah, Rocking Through the Years. 26 video hits. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to enjoy every one of these, but they did have some bangers, if you like, some decent tunes back in the 80s. And then this again is something I've been looking for quite some time. There's been Queen's Greatest Flicks Volume 2. I'm after Volume 1 and Volume 2. I've been looking for VCDs, no, not DVDs, VCDs, VHS, and laser discs. And every time I see them, they're really expensive, especially the VCD and the laser discs. I came across the tapes in a whole stack of Queen videotapes on Facebook Marketplace about, I don't know, a month or so ago. Must have been 10 or 12 tapes for free, and the ad had been up less than an hour when I found it, and I sent them a message straight away, and they said somebody had already was on the way to collect them, but they would get back to me if they didn't, and they never got back to me. So I'm assuming, there was no assuming about it. Within a couple of hours, the post had been removed, so clearly they'd gone. So I was a bit upset about that, but yeah, I'm really happy to have this. Most of these, I guess, are the 80s and 90s tracks. I'm assuming Great Flicks Volume 1 is the earlier 70s stuff. But this is from what I can remember, most of this was in the 80s, and there's a few things here from I assume the early 90s before Freddie passed away. But yeah, happy to have found that. And then I'm going to take a break here while I swap the bags over, and we'll take a look in the other bag. Now, because the weather got slightly better part of the way through the day, the rain had slowed down to almost nothing, and it's actually stopped now. The sun's coming out. I walked a little bit further out than I would normally, thinking I'd find some charity shops, and I spotted one across the road, and I thought I'll keep going and I'll grab that one on the way back. As it turned out, it was closed by the time I got back to it. But the reason for that is I found this independent entertainment store called the Entertainment Zone. Never heard of it before, I'd never seen it before, not been out that far before. I mean, that far, it was only, I don't think it was even 10 minutes walk from where the main shops are. There were still shops as I was going down, but less and less well-known shops and more independent type shops. Anyway, this place was awesome. Although they do sell video games, it looks like the predominant shelf space and floor space is dedicated to movies, Blu-rays, but mostly DVDs. They had one wall and a few cabinets with video games and video game stuff. Had a whole bunch of cabinets full of figures. That's a whole different thing. They had a lot of CDs as well. Didn't even bother looking through all the CDs, to be fair. I didn't look through all the DVDs, there was so many. But I did get some footage of the box sets on the wall and the Blu-rays. Anyway, I got, what, 6 or 7? 8 Blu-rays. I spent less than 30 quid. So, in no particular order, but the first one, Beyond Skyline, with slipcover. This was only 2 quid, but it looks like it's been reduced because there's another sticker underneath. I'm a little bit worried about these stickers. I don't know how easy or hard they're going to be to get off, and there's some that we'll see in a moment that aren't even stuck on the cases. I mean, this one being stuck to the slipcover. Yeah, so for £2, I was happy about that. This one I was really happy to find. A Christmas Carol, the 3D version. I do already have this, but I've never been able to get it with the slip. This one having the lenticular slip as well. It was only £3. Again, that's been reduced. This does only trade in at the moment for £1.30, but that's £1.30 off £3, so it means I've only spent less than £2 to get a slipcover that I can't even find on eBay. I imagine closer to Christmas this might be worth more. Do I take that gamble for a few extra pence? Probably not. I'll trade it in as and when, and let's get some stuff to trade. I've got nothing left now. Trading those 2 games, and you'll see shortly what I grabbed. Yeah, so that was a good find. An out of print 88 films release that I needed. This has been the alternate artwork though, and the only reason we've got this on this artwork is because this is how it was in the shop. But it's only £6. I don't remember how much this was in CX last time I looked. I think it was about 12 or maybe even £15. But the reason, like I say, I kept that way because I was going to put it back to its original artwork, which is that. If I take the disc, you can see. But what this guy's done, and I understand why, to stop people changing the labels, but he stuck it to the sleeve rather than to the case, which means actually that's maybe it's a good thing, because it's not going to be on that side. That's the side I'm going to display. Hopefully that'll come off pretty easily, but I'm working one-handed here, so I'm not even going to try and go any further with that. Then I got some more 3D releases. Oh, did I get one more? Two more? A couple more 3D releases. Blood Rain. This was £4. I do own the trilogy Blood Rain in 3D in a set on its own. This one I got to resell. They're not going to take it in CEX because there's no UK release of this, and this is clearly a German. I didn't actually look on the inside to see if there's a sleeve. Yeah, it does. It's got an internal sleeve, so you can flip it and get rid of the get rid of the rating. Then the other 3D I got was A Legend of Pinocchio. I'm assuming that's how that translates in 3D. This looking like it's a German release, but I could be French. I'm not sure actually. I didn't even take any notice of the back. Yeah, it looks like it's French, but it does have English audio track on it, so that's good. Again, that was only £2. Another Arrow release, or an Arrow release. I think it's probably the only Arrow release I've got today. Bloodbath. Again, this has got the alternate artwork. This is actually a Bay of Blood. And I just have a feeling now, I checked on my phone, and the only Bay of Bloods I've got listed on my collection is the window box edition of this and the Aerodrome edition of this. But now I'm thinking about it, I think this might have the same barcode as the window box edition, so I wouldn't have this individually on that list because it would scan as the same barcode. So I've got a feeling I might already have this one, but never mind. If I have, it'll go on eBay. Doomsday. This is the unrated. I'm assuming US release. It's quite heavy. This. It's got a good thick book in there. I've got the I've got the UK release of this, which is supposed to have a booklet, but mine never came with the booklet. So yeah, I'll keep this one. It's a Universal, and I'm pretty sure Universals are all region free. Again, it doesn't say on the back there, at least that I could see, that it's region locked. So I'll end up keeping this one and just getting rid of my copy. And then again, this last one is one that I own. I got this for £5. It's One Dark Night. This is part of the 88 volt collection. It's been spine number 6. Mine never had the booklet. I think I got it from CX a long time ago. I never got a booklet with it. And to find one of these on eBay, I've been searching just for the booklet, because usually you can find booklets and slipcovers on eBay, but I've never ever been able to get this booklet. And to rebuy this release on eBay with the booklet, looking at about £20. The slipcover is in pretty poor condition, to be fair. It's not that great. Now I could trade this in for a couple of quid at CEX. I don't mind paying £3 for the booklet, but I'll probably do better just putting this on eBay and selling it for like £5.99, something like that. By the time I pay fees, I'll have probably got £3 or £4 back for it, so that'll cover most of the most of what I paid for that. And then finally, the last one that I got CEX. I traded in those 2 games, and this is another 88 volt release. Bedtime Stories. This is the last one I need to complete this collection. There's only 10, at least that's what they've put out so far, but they haven't put a new one out for 2 or 3 years, I think. So yeah, happy to grab this. £10. I got £2. No, I did get £2.40. I got £7.40 in trade for those 2 games. So this only cost me £2.60 plus what I paid for the games. So overall, it owes me less than £6. So I'm happy with that. Got the slip, which is in almost immaculate condition. Again, working one-handed, and this does not want to come out. Holy moly. That's where teeth come in handy. So, such as it is, it's got the booklet. As it turns out, the booklet is only 4 pages, and that includes the front and the back. So it literally unfolds into more of a pamphlet than a booklet. But I like to have these things complete. So there we go. That's everything that I've bought today. That's a nice little haul, I think. Some great DVDs and some even better Blu-rays. So yeah, very happy. This has turned out to be a much longer video than I expected. I haven't gone through what the footage that I've recorded today in the various shops, so I don't know how long that is, but once I cobble all that together, you'll have already seen that by now anyway, unless of course this ends up being the 2-parter and you've happened to click on part 2 before part 1, but we'll see what happens when I edit it all together. Anyway, once again, thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. I do have some stuff at home, a few little bits and bobs that have come through the post. I went around the charity shops in town after work on Wednesday or Thursday this week, I think. So there's a few bits there. So whether there's enough for a full pickups video, I'll have to have a look. Actually, there probably will be, because there's two very critical items that I got in April from not from Arrow, but our Arrow releases that I put on the shelf and forgot to take them back down again when I did the last pickups video. So yeah, with those 2, that'll probably make enough, I think, for a reasonably length pickups video for this week. Anyway, it's Saturday today. Hopefully you'll be watching this, if you watch it as it goes up tomorrow. I'll get on editing this together. I won't take quite as long as I did with the last few, and then I'm starting my night shifts tomorrow night, back on nights. I don't want to do nights again. I hated doing them before, and I was so pleased when they knocked them on the head. But yeah, we're going back on the night shifts tomorrow night, so I'll have less time tomorrow, because I'll have to spend a little time getting some shut eye tomorrow afternoon or evening. Anyway, you don't need to know all my woes. Yeah, I will hopefully have another video in short order. So I've already said it, but thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ra. Oh, just one last thing, if you're still here and you're still watching, I appreciate it. If you fancy putting a comment below, something just to say that you got to the end, but other people don't just join in with got to the end. How about sunshine on a rainy day? I mean, there isn't that much sunshine, but it has been a rainy day. Yeah, see you later. Ta-ra. I just took one of these off a slipcover and it came off no bother at all. So I thought I'd give this a quick go. But again, one-handed isn't working. Actually, it's not too badly stuck. It's just the fact that the damn thing's split. And that's the way these things are created, to stop people from removing them a change in prices on things, I believe. Yeah, that came off no bother. Well, a little bit of bother, but it didn't leave any harmful residue or damage anything, so that's a good thing.